Hello and welcome back. As always, my name is Laser, and today finally season 13 started, and by today I actually mean, well, yesterday. But yeah, you guys get the point. I wanted to show you my Wave of Light build. Unfortunately, I've been trying for the past 2 days to get all the gear I need and I wasn't fully successful, but let's get into gameplay and we'll talk a bit more. So this is hardcore, okay? I only do hardcore, don't care about softcore and all whatnot, and let's do a Nephilim rift because I'm out of goddamn materials. I'm always out of materials. So let's talk about the monk. He's got some build diversity right now, a few good builds, especially the support build with the Ina set. But that's not really what I'm doing. What I'm doing right now is Wave of Light, and I'm gonna show you, I'm trying to reverse engineer this build. We're gonna first show you the gameplay and then the builds. Unfortunately, with this build, it has a lot of key components to it. You gotta have very specific gear. Now, there is some variation, of course, but the more you vary from the quote-unquote ideal build, which, let's be honest here, you can play for months and still not have perfect gear, the more you deviate from it, the less effective it will be. But since the season started, I got a clan buddy of mine, John, who's a subscriber, a follower, a fan, I guess, I don't know, that has been playing non-stop, and he's currently in the top 100 monks on hardcore Europe. So yeah, it definitely can be done. I think he's clearing right now Rift Power 95. He's getting close to 100, so that's pretty impressive. But anyway, more about the build. As you can see, the build focuses heavily on using exploding Wave of Light with the explosive light rune, which makes it fire damage, so therefore you're gonna want fire damage on your necklace and of course fire damage on your bracers as well. Ideally, again, in an ideal universe, that's how things would go down. We are using the Sunwuko set. Now, in case you didn't know, this season 13, the Sunwuko set is the one you get from the journal, so it should be fairly easy to get. I actually got even ancient pants from just the completing the achievements and all whatnot, so it's fairly easy. You can get the build quite easy. What you can't get so very easy, or at least was difficult for me, was getting the weapons. You need Kiroshiro's blade and you need the Vengeful Wind. Place in your main hand the one that has higher damage, and I don't mean DPS, okay, I mean the lower end and the high end spectrum of the damage range. As you can see, this one has a better higher end, but this one has a better lower end, so it's minimal damage, so I'm gonna go with this one for now. The Sunwuko set, you're gonna have to have the full Sunwuko set except the head. For the head, we're gonna use So Kidding Gaze, or however you pronounce that, sorry, I don't know. This is not the ideal one. The ideal one would have also some critical hit chance, mine doesn't, and on the head, on the helmet, you have the option between reduces all resource cost and reduces cooldowns as well. There are builds, some variations on the Wave of Light build that focus around cooldown reduction, so you can spam more of your Mystic Ally, and that's how you're gonna get back your spirit. But that, again, it depends on what kind of gear you get. Of course, again, resist all for gems mostly. It's not optimized, not yet. Also, this is another key piece of gear, the crudest boots. Mystic Ally summons 2 Mystic Allies that fight for you, which also buffs up the application of Mystic Ally. Okay, you're gonna get a whole lot more spirit back. As for bracers, these are best in slot, absolutely. Obviously, what you want on this: fire damage 20%, dexterity, vitality, and critical hit chance 6%, and of course the highest roll on Wave of Light, which will be 150%, which in ours is best in slot. But there's also another belt I prefer to use. You see my Sweeping Wind Inner Storm, because that's what we're gonna be using again for spirit regeneration. Is kind of refreshing itself. That's because of what I'm using in the cube, and that's the other option to the belt. But we're gonna talk, like I said, more about that a tad later. So this is Torment, what is it? Torment 11, I think, or is it that? Yeah, that's Torment 11. That's about it, what I could manage in a couple of days of the new season. It really depends on how lucky you are with gear and all whatnot. So you see, it's not very melee focused. My builder, which I don't really use all that often, is Crippling Wave with a Tsunami rune. Okay, because I want to CC, I only use my builder just to proc the Focus and Restrain buff, obviously, which is the rings we are using, and they are kind of best in slot, but you can work with the Elements ring as well, and just try to time your damage correctly with the rune on it. Okay, so you get the fire damage out. But yeah, you can do like this, okay, so you can proc both of the Focus and Restrain buffs, so it increases your damage by a total of 100%. It's not really needed, at least not at this level. The problem I had so far with this build is how squishy it is, and you see it's a monk, but it really plays like a mage. You destroy everything from afar for the most part. And well, I think that's pretty much it to the blade. The boots are essential, the weapon's definitely essential because you're gonna get more stacks of sweeping wind. You wanna get a maximum of 10, and this Vengeful Wind is the weapon that makes it possible. And let's keep in mind the 6 set bonus, Slash Tail Kick, Tempest Rush, and Wave of Light have their damage increased by 1000% for each stack of sweeping wind, which is why we want to have 10 stacks active at all time. 10 times 1,000 each. I think that is fairly obvious at this point. And well, that's kind of how the build works. That's why your Wave of Light can hit so hard, and because of the Spirit Stone we're using, we are able to cast Wave of Light on enemies, so it doesn't cast on ourselves anymore. So you're kind of playing mage. As for the gems I'm using, these are not the ideal gems, but I will highlight the ideal gems in a second. What I am using right now, as you can probably see, Bane of the Powerful, Bane of the Trapped, because that is by far the best damage legendary gem you can use. It has been for quite some time. I'm actually surprised that Blizzard doesn't do anything about that. Oh, we actually killed somebody without even wanting. That does happen a lot. I don't really go in full melee because I'm fairly squished. You see, I got only not even 400k health, and my toughness is not even 100 mil. So I kind of mage for the most part. This is what you do, and this is how you clear. And it works fine for the most part, definitely. This is recognized, I think, by many players, okay, many more experienced and more aficionado than I am at Diablo 3 as being a very, very good build. Not an S tier. From what I understood, there's only one S tier build so far, and that is the Condemned Crusader, which is absolutely amazing. If you guys were thinking about rolling a Crusader this season, absolutely go for it. But this is still an A tier build. You can see, clears everything quite quickly. Alright, we're done here. And I do plan on giving you guys updates and all whatnot as soon as I get more gear. But for now, let's get through this. I do have sometimes a little bit of problems when clearing raid bosses, rift bosses. Yes, that sometimes may prove difficult because what I'm ideally trying to do is not get hit, which is why I have Mantra and Salvation with agility for the dodge, obviously. Now, where is he? There she is. Okay, we're just gonna spam like crazy, and that's pretty much going to be it. So once more, let's go over the build. I'm gonna pour it back. Skills. Crippling Wave with Tsunami, for the reasons I already mentioned. Of course, Wave of Light with Explosive Light, this is the most amount of damage you can pork out. Sweeping Wind with Inner Storm, we're gonna get 10 stacks. We have 2 Spirit Allies with us, which will help with the Spirit Regeneration as well. Dashing Strike with Blinding Speed, of course, for the Dodge rune when you're trying to stay a little bit in melee or trying to get away, making sure you're not gonna get damaged down. Mystic Ally with Air Ally, and Mantra of Salvation with agility, of course. As for our passive skills, Near Death Experience is not 100% needed. Why I use Near Death Experience? Because this is hardcore and I really don't want to die ideally, but it can happen with or without. So yeah, for hardcore I definitely recommend Near Death Experience. The Guardian's Path, because we are dual wielding and this is a great talent, great mitigation. 6th Strength reduces all non-physical damage taken by 25%. You can swap this out for something like Seize the Initiative if you so desire, though I wouldn't really recommend it. Harmony, of course, this is mandatory in most monk builds, and that's pretty much it for the build itself. Again, the gear we're gonna use is the full Sunwuko outside of the head, because we do have a Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube, and we're gonna talk about the cube. Best in Slot, Witching Hour, and the other option for your own sanity, if you will, is Kyoshiro's Soul. Again, you can use Kyoshiro's Soul either on you, or you can have a Witching Hour and Kyoshiro's Soul here. Here, actually, what you should be using is another pair of Bracer that will get you some much needed damage mitigation. Let me see if I can find them really quick. There we go, Spirit Guards. Your Spirit Generators reduce your damage taken by 60% for 3 seconds. Now that is huge, and this might be mandatory in the higher level rifts. But keep in mind that you don't really need to do damage with this one, you just need to actually cast one attack. So you can just hold shift down, not hit anything, and one crippling wave and you will get the buff. The problem is it's only 3 seconds, and if you're not careful, not keeping it up when you need it, you might die without even getting the buff. It's 3 seconds, that's the only issue. Ring of Royal Grandeur is a must-have, again, because we need to use this headdress. There's no way around it. We need a Spirit Stone. As for the weapon slot, I'm using the Furnace, but that is not the ideal choice. Now, what you would want with this build, I know it's obvious, but I simply couldn't find the staff up until this point to put in the cube, is another die bow, and the die bow is... Here we go. Incense Torch of the Grand Temple reduces the spirit cost of Wave of Light by 50% and increases its damage by a whopping 550. So we're gonna be able to spam a whole lot more than this. This is the maximum amount of spam without it. Then you pop your potion, I call it a spirit potion, of course the Mystic Ally, and you can keep on spamming your right click, which is Wave of Light with the Fire Rune. And that's pretty much it to the build. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If I missed anything, I apologize. I'm nowhere near to be a Diablo expert, but I'm kind of working on it. Once again, thank you for watching. My name has been Leyzar. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.